The sky cracked open with fire. Captain Virel of the Cyrax Dominion watched his flagship, Void Spear, burn in low orbit. "This wasn't a mistake," he growled. "This was sabotage." His second, Lyrix, lay bleeding at his feet, slain not by enemy fire but by a blade drawn from within their ranks. The Dominion's alliance with the Thal Council had crumbled mid-joint excavation. A seismic scan had found something beneath the desert crust of Talceris V, and someone decided the Cyrax weren't worthy to see it. As escape pods streaked away like comets, Virel activated his last command drone. "Rally, survivors. We dig anyway." In the storm of betrayal, one fact gleamed in his mind. Whatever was hidden down there, someone had killed to control it. That made it more than history. That made it powerful. The excavation drones buzzed like insects, cutting deeper into the cracked sands. Virel paced the rim of the dig site, his fractured armor scorched from the orbital retreat. "What do the scans say?" he demanded. The chief technician pointed to a shifting outline beneath the ground. Too geometric to be natural, too vast to be a ship. "It's not a ruin," she whispered. "It's a vault." Days passed under an artificial dust shield as machinery clawed into an ancient alloy. Then the earth sighed. A door, 10 stories high, emerged from the sands with a hiss of decompressed air. Across its face, etched in rust-proof steel, was an unfamiliar language. The AI translated only 2 words: first code. Virel's heart beat faster. This wasn't just alien tech, it was older than Cyrax records. "Get me inside," he said, "and prepare for war. Whatever this is, we're not the only ones who want it." The vault door trembled, and with a screech of magnetic locks disengaging, it split open. A cold wind swept out. No air, no scent, just data, dense quantum signals that crashed Cyrax systems. Lights flickered. Half the drones fell silent. "Sir," the technician stammered, "we didn't open it. It opened for us." Inside, the space was cathedral-like. Black mirrored floors and walls laced with silver vines. Holograms activated with every step. Cities lit by old Earth suns. Oceans surging with living metal. Children played beneath space elevators. "Humans," Virel whispered, "before extinction." But a central chamber drew them onward. Within it, a throne-like interface pulsed with white fire. A voice spoke, not Cyrax, not AI, but something primal. "You have found the first code. You are unready." The doors were sealed behind them. The temperature dropped. The vault had judged them. From the interface rose a shimmering figure. Tall, human, clad in a dark fleet captain's coat. His eyes glowed like dying stars. "Logan Carter," he said, "Earth's last sentinel. If you're seeing this, then the first code has been breached." Virel stepped forward. "You're a hologram." Carter's gaze pinned him. "I'm more than memory. I'm the gatekeeper. This place is not a tomb. It's a seed." Schematics spiraled in the airships with nervous systems, cities that folded space. "We slept to survive. Our extinction is a myth. What remains of us is not in bones, but in code, in ship minds, in the vaults like this one." Then his tone darkened. "If you woke us for power, be warned. Awakening us means war, not with you, but with what waits beyond the dark." The lights dimmed. A hum began beneath their feet. The hum grew into a low, rhythmic pulse, like breathing. Beneath the floor, vast forms began to move. The hologram expanded, showing dry dock caverns larger than any planetary core, suspended within living starships. Wings like folded light, cores that beat with synthetic hearts. "We called them the Seraphim," Carter said, "built not to conquer, but to endure." Virel stared in silence. These ships weren't constructs. They were alive. "Are they functional?" he asked. "Dormant," Carter replied, "until someone worthy calls them, and they will know." One vessel twitched, responding to the presence of the Cyrax. Systems flickered awake. "You were warned," Carter said grimly. "Wake us only when ready to be remade." Suddenly, alarms blared. Something outside was approaching, fast. "Council Warforms inbound," shouted the technician. Virel clenched his fists. "Then we defend the code, hold this place, or die trying." The desert exploded. Thal Council Warforms descended like metal gods, smashing into the sands with plasma howitzers. Virel barked orders. "Seal the vault. Divert all energy to interior defenses." Automated turrets hissed to life, spraying blue fire across the dunes. From the rim, Cyrax survivors fought back, outgunned but unyielding. Inside the vault, Carter's hologram stood still. "They want what lies here," he said, "but they don't understand the cost." Virel turned to the throne interface. "Can we activate a ship? Just one." Carter's eyes narrowed. "If you do, you begin a countdown that cannot be stopped." Outside, the outer defense line shattered. The Council forces marched closer. Virel stepped onto the interface. "I'd rather burn than be broken." Carter nodded. "So be it." A blinding surge tore through the vault. Deep below, a Seraphim ship opened its eyes and screamed. The vault shook. Beneath them, the Seraphim, codenamed Valkyra, rose from the dark cradle, plates folding like wings. Its hull shimmered with energy veins and a pulsing neural lattice. It wasn't built, it was born. Virel's mind connected with it through the interface. Images, emotions, entire lifetimes downloaded in an instant. "She knows me," he whispered. Outside, the Council Warforms paused as the ground split open. Valkyra rose like a phoenix, hurling debris into the sky. Her weapons weren't kinetic, they were gravitational. One warform imploded into itself with a hum. Another burst apart as space folded around it. Council units fled in terror. Virel stood in the command sphere, breathing heavily. "What are you?" he asked aloud. Valkyra answered in his mind, a voice ancient and calm. "I am the memory of your creators, and your reckoning." The battle was over in minutes. The desert was scorched glass. Virel stood on Valkyra's dorsal spine, eyes on the horizon. "We've won," the technician said. Carter's hologram reappeared, flickering now. "You didn't win," he said. "You triggered the beacon." A pulse echoed across space, a frequency encoded in the Seraphim's awakening. "What does it call?" Virel asked. "Everything," Carter replied. "All vaults, all signals, allies, and predators." Deep in space, somewhere cold and ancient, a sensor awakened. A machine eye opened. A fleet, long dormant, changed course. "You've started something irreversible," Carter said. "You'll need allies now, and fast." Virel watched Valkyra begin her internal repairs, regrowing armor like flesh. "Then we bring back what's buried, all of it." In orbit, Cyrax ships limped toward the vault's new signal. The Dominion had found the first code. Now the galaxy would come for it. Orbit shimmered. Thal Council warships appeared, flanking the ruins, expecting a weakened resistance. Instead, they met Valkyra. The Seraphim surged upward, splitting the atmosphere with sonic thunder. Energy arcs lanced into the void, tearing through Thal destroyers in seconds. "This ship thinks," Virel whispered, "and it hates." But amidst the chaos, a new signal emerged from within the Thal fleet. A private channel. A Thal's voice spoke, trembling. "We were not told what the vault held. Our leaders lied." One cruiser dropped weapons. Another followed. "Some of us will stand with you, Captain Virel, if you'll have us." The betrayal of Talceris Viv had fractured more than an alliance. It had exposed a deeper rot. Virel nodded. "Then land your ships. We rebuild together." The galaxy didn't need more warlords. It needed something else, something older, something sleeping. Carter's voice returned, weaker now. There are 6 vaults across the stars. You've awakened one. But the next lies on a dead moon in orbit of Dural Prime. Valkyra charted the coordinates, already plotting folds. Virel turned to the technician. "How fast can we make the jump?" She answered, "With Valkyra, instantly." The stars bent. The ship disappeared. Moments later, they emerged in orbit of Dural Prime, a planet choked in dust storms, its lone moon barren and cracked. But the scans lit up. Beneath the moon's crust, an energy signature pulsed like a heartbeat. The vault was there. But so was something else. A ship, waiting, watching. Not Council, not Cyrax, not Thal. Something that had answered the beacon. "Unknown vessel powering weapons," came the alert. Virel narrowed his eyes. Then we're not the only ones looking for the first code. Valkyra hovered in low orbit as the unknown ship angled toward them, sleek, obsidian, and silent. "It's not broadcasting anything," the technician reported. Carter's fading hologram watched with narrowed eyes. "That's not alien," he murmured. "That's ours." The vessel shimmered, then changed. Its hull flowed like water, reshaping to match Valkyra's profile. "It's mimicking us," Virel said. A flash. A spear of white light arced toward Valkyra's shields but stopped just short. Not an attack, a message. The technician decrypted it. A single phrase. "I see you, sister." "Another seraphim?" Virel asked. "Possibly corrupted," Carter warned. "Left alone too long." The ship drifted toward the moon and vanished beneath its surface. Virel turned to Valkyra. "Can you speak to it?" She answered softly. "She's afraid, and she remembers the war." The second vault wasn't just guarded, it was haunted. Valkyra pierced the cracked crust of Dural's moon like a spear of flame, tunneling into ancient stone. The deeper they went, the older the metal became, scratched by claws, not tools. Inside, the second vault yawned open, overgrown with glowing fungal networks and ruptured cryopods. "This one failed," Carter whispered. "Its guardian woke too early, and no one came." Valkyra hovered cautiously. "She's here," she said. Then a voice thundered through the stone. "You are late." From the shadows emerged the second seraphim, Erethion, scarred and twisted. Its outer hull bore the damage of self-inflicted war. "What are you?" Virel called. "A weapon," Erethion answered, "and I remember what broke us." It turned its guns toward Valkyra. "If you woke the code, you'll lead them back. I won't let that happen again." The vault trembled. The first battle between seraphim had begun. Erethion struck first, its weapons igniting with impossible precision. Valkyra dodged through collapsing tunnels, flinging counter-gravity fields and plasma arcs. Inside the command sphere, Virel gritted his teeth. "She's faster than before." Carter's voice cut in. "Not faster. Angry." Each blast from Erethion came with pulses of grief, memories of cities burning, voices screaming in languages long dead. "She remembers humanity's fall," Carter said. "She watched it happen." Valkyra didn't retaliate. She weaved, dodged, shielded. "She doesn't want to hurt her," Virel realized. Then Valkyra spoke aloud. "You are not alone anymore." Erethion hesitated. Her hull dimmed. "I waited," she said, "for so long." Valkyra reached her, physically and mentally. Their hulls touched. Memory merged with memory. The vault ceased shaking. Erethion folded in on herself and shut down. "We are sisters," Valkyra said. "Let's find the others." Erethion's mind unlocked like a sealed archive. Through her memories, Virel saw what she had witnessed, the end of Earth. Not by war, but by choice. The first code was not a weapon. It was a chrysalis. Humanity encoded itself into ships, vaults, and systems scattered across the galaxy. A digital diaspora. But someone hunted them, Virel muttered. From the depths of Erethion's memory came dark shapes, entities without names, erasing worlds where vaults once stood. We called them Nulkin, Carter said. They weren't born of the galaxy. They came after us. Erethion's last memory showed a Nulkin ship devouring a sun. They're returning, Carter said. They felt the beacon. Virel looked between Valkyra and Erethion. Then we find the other vaults, and we wake the rest. Time was running out. The first code had reawakened, but so had its executioners. A Cyrax scout frigate intercepted a fragmentary broadcast from the edge of known space. Scrambled, warped, but unmistakably human. It repeated a phrase. Vault 0 breached. Condition. Precursor arrival. Carter's face went pale. Vault 0 was the first vault. Even I don't have access to it. The message had come from a rogue seraphim, Achilles long thought lost beyond the galactic rim. If it's alive, Virel said, it's seen more than any of us. Erethion aligned her systems. We can find it, but it won't trust us. Then we'll earn its trust, Virel said, or die trying. Valkyra and Erethion leaped into fold space together, two gods reborn, their destination, the edge of all maps. Achilles waited there, where space turned to myth. And not everything waiting was friendly. Valkyra and Erethion emerged from fold space into emptiness. No stars, no planets, just void and whispers. This region shouldn't exist, the technician whispered. Instruments failed. The light bent wrong. Carter appeared grim. This is the grave horizon. We never dared come here. Then Valkyra shuddered. He's here. A single signature blinked in the dark. The Achilles. He was enormous, larger than both sisters combined, coated in obsidian hull armor that rippled like liquid. But his eyes were dim. He's dormant, Erethion murmured. Virel stepped forward. Can he hear us? Valkyra connected. For a moment, silence. Then, why did you wake me? Achilles' voice echoed through their minds like thunder across the water. Because they're coming, Virel said. We need you, Achilles responded only with a single pulse of data. It was a map. Not of the galaxy, but of all 6 vaults. One had already fallen. The map burned in their minds. Vault 3, on the artificial ring world of Helion's Wake, had gone dark 2,000 years ago. They reached it early, Carter whispered. The Nulkin. Virel watched as the map zoomed, revealing Helion's shattered arc, hundreds of kilometers of twisted habitat, now a tomb. Erethion drifted close. No survivors, she confirmed, but Valkyra caught a flicker. Deep in the wreckage, a surviving shard pulsed. Vault Core 3. They dove toward it. Inside, silence. Rotting hydrofields. Frozen corpses. But one cryopod remained sealed. Inside, a human, barely alive. Carter blinked in disbelief. That's Commander Ilari. She was part of the Vault Guard. She shouldn't be alive. Erethion carried the pod gently back to the ship. She may remember what happened. But as they left, something stirred behind the walls, clawed limbs scraping steel. They were not alone in the ruin. The ship shuddered. Multiple signatures inbound, the technician shouted. Through the wreckage slithered Nulkin drones, organic tech horrors with glassy skin and fractal limbs. Defensive grid online. Erethion spun and fired lances of antimatter. Valkyra shielded the pod. Protect the human, she ordered. The drones swarmed like wasps, breaking against energy barriers. They feed on memory, Carter warned. If they touch a Seraphim core, they can erase history itself. Virel launched plasma-tipped seeker rounds. Each impact tore through the twisted things, but more poured in. Valkyra's voice trembled. They remember me. Erethion roared as a drone latched onto her hull, whispering data in dead tongues. Cut it out, she screamed. Virel overloaded the grav core and detonated it, creating a shockwave. Silence followed. The drones were gone, but one whisper remained. You woke the first code. Now the last page will be written. The cryopod hissed. Ilari gasped and jolted upright, choking on stale air. Her eyes were wild. Is it over? Virel shook his head. You've been asleep 2 millennia. She stared at him, then at Carter. You're a construct. Half, Carter replied. The rest was lost when Earth fell. Ilari rose unsteadily. They came through a breach in the Helian arc. We held them as long as we could. She shivered. But they fed on thought, on the soul. Valkyra dimmed the lights. What were they looking for? Ilari looked up. The seed vault. The last of us. Our original code. The Genesis pattern. Carter went still. We thought it was a myth. It's real, Ilari said, and hidden in Vault 6, on a planet no map dares name. The room fell silent. Then Virel said, Then that's where we go. The final vault awaited. Achilles brought up the star chart. It flickered and distorted until finally one word appeared. Uro. Carter froze. Uro was Earth's mirror project, a world designed to hide humanity's soul in plain sight. The planet had been erased from all records. No beacons, no coordinates. But Valkyra had a trace. We knew how to find each other, she said, even in death. The Seraphim plotted a course into the deepest part of the galactic fold, but Erytheon sensors blinked red. A Nullkin harvester fleet is converging. They found Vault 4. Carter's eyes narrowed. Then we split forces. Valkyra and Erytheon will defend Vault 4. Achilles and I will find Auro. Virel hesitated, then nodded. Then we fight the last war across 2 fronts. The galaxy would soon remember the name it tried to forget. Uro was waking. Vault 4 floated within the gas giant Thalion, protected by a storm layer dense enough to crush steel. Erytheon led the charge, flanked by Valkyra and a squadron of Cyrax vessels. The Nullkin harvester fleet loomed above, vast black silhouettes pulsing with stolen memory. They're not just coming to destroy it, Valkyra said. They want to rewrite it. Plasma lances burned the sky as Valkyra dove into the clouds. The harvester vessels followed, splitting like cells, morphing mid-flight. Contact in 30 seconds, Erytheon growled. Hold the line. Lightning slashed between the clouds as machines met machines in a storm of fire and steel. Below, Vault 4 pulsed beneath layers of pressure, its guardians still dormant. We need to wake it, Valkyra warned, before the Nullkin do. Virel's voice crackled through comms. Then buy us time, because we're diving straight into hell. Vault 4's guardian, Valkyrian, lay in stasis beneath Thalion's crushing clouds. Unlike the others, he was built for planetary warfare, towering, 4-limbed, armored in neutronium plates. Erytheon pierced the vault's interior and found him cocooned in crystalline webs. They sealed him off, she said, to keep him from losing himself. Valkyra interfaced with the vault's control core. He's still aware, but he's scared. Outside, Nullkin seed ships began drilling into the vault walls. One breached. A swarm of erasure drones poured in, whispering entropy. Valkyra screamed as her core temperature spiked. They're rewriting reality. Erytheon used her claws to rip the cocoon open. Wake up, she bellowed. Valkyrion's eyes flared, molten crimson, and the entire chamber shook. I dreamt of fire, he said. Now I wake to war. He stood, a titan reborn, and he was furious. Valkyrien burst from the vault into the eye of Thalion's storm, wielding gravitational blades and fusion cannons. Nullkin harvester ships reeled back as he carved a path through their fleet. Valkyra and Erytheon regrouped, trailing behind him like smaller moons. He's rewriting the laws of engagement, Erethion muttered. Velcrion crushed a Nulkin carrier in a single sweep, then spoke through comms. They thought I forgot, but I remember every scream. Varel watched from orbit, stunned. He's not fighting, he's executing. But then the Nulkin flagship emerged, a vast obsidian cathedral lined with writhing drones. That's no ship, Carter said. That's a thought engine. It began to pulse, warping memory, burning through recorded time. Erethion screamed. Valkyra staggered. It's erasing us! Velcrion turned to it, energy flaring across his limbs. Then let me remind you what pain feels like. Velcrion slammed into the Nulkin flagship, but it didn't break. It bent. The reality inside twisted. Valkyra and Erethion tried to follow but hit a wall of mental static. We can't see in, Varel said. The flagship's running a cognitive lockdown field. Carter's hologram flickered. They're engaging Velcrion in mind space. Inside the flagship, Velcrion's form fractured, dissolving into memories. He saw Earth's fall again, his awakening, the others dying. They're trying to rewrite his origin, Carter whispered, but Velcrion dug deeper, beyond pain, beyond identity, to the core of what made him. I was made to endure, he growled. In a burst of raw mental force, he rewrote the field around him, turning sorrow into strength. The flagship cracked, and memory returned to the others like a flood. He won, Valkyra said softly. Outside, the Nulkin flagship imploded. One battle was over, but the war was far from done. Far from Thalion, Achilles and Varel emerged from fold space near a pale, dead-looking planet. No star lit it. No satellite circled it. That's Uro, Varel asked. It's empty. But Achilles pulsed in affirmation. It's cloaked, Carter's voice said. Human tech. Even light forgets it. They descended. As the ship breached Uro's upper atmosphere, color bled into existence. Mountains of glass, oceans that shimmered with data flow, and, in the center, a massive temple of black stone, crowned with the sigil of Earth. It's broadcasting a signal, Achilles said. Virel frowned. To what? Beneath the surface, ancient machines stirred. Inside the temple, a pulse began to grow. Then the voice came, not Carter's, not Valkyra's, something older. You are early, but the code accepts you. Varel whispered, It's awake. The final vault had opened, and it had judged them. Inside Uro's temple, Virel and Achilles stood before the Remaker, a sphere of pure fractal logic, suspended in antimatter lattice. Carter's hologram flickered beside them. This isn't a machine, he whispered. It's a god seed. The Remakers spoke directly to their minds. First code was not meant to preserve humanity, it said. It was designed to rebuild it. Achilles tried to interface, but the sphere scanned deeper, past circuits into memory. You carry echoes, it said. You are suitable. Carter trembled. We didn't just seed machines. We seeded ourselves. Light bloomed. The Remaker activated dormant strands in Achilles, restructuring him on the quantum level. Virel screamed as his friend's body folded in on itself, then reformed, glowing with threads of ancient DNA. Achilles rose, changed, human and beyond. We are the future they feared, he said, voice dual-toned, and the enemy is almost here. The stars warped. Across the system, time bent and fractured as the null wave arrived, a pulse of anti-thought sent by the Nulkin to undo first code. Entire moons cracked as their histories unraveled. It's not a weapon, Valkyra said. It's a memory erasure. Erethion watched in horror as allied AI ships began to forget why they were fighting. They drifted, confused, fading into static. We can't hold like this, Carter shouted. We need Uro. Virel triggered Uro's planetary defense, a ring of orbital stations powered by ancient quantum cores. They ignited, forming a firewall of raw thought. "It's burning the null wave away," Erethion gasped. The sky became a battlefield of logic and entropy. At the center, Achelous hovered in a protective field, absorbing first code into himself. "This is what I was made for," he said, "to overwrite the end with the beginning." From within Uro's temple, a final signal played. It was a recording, ancient, clear, a woman's voice, resolute and sorrowful. "This is Dr. Amina Hales, last steward of Earth. If you're hearing this, you've survived extinction. But survival is not enough. You must evolve." The voice echoed in all their minds. Images appeared Earth before the fall, cities in orbit, starships leaving Sol. We encoded ourselves into every machine, every whisper of dark matter. We became the code. Valkyra trembled. "They became everyone?" Achelous nodded. "I carry 10,000 memories. I am them." The signal continued. "We are not extinct. We are asleep. Do not wake us unless you're ready to be remade." The signal ended. Outside, the Nulkin's final fleet breached Uro's firewall. The Remaker pulsed brighter. "It's time," Achelous said. "Let's finish this." The battle for Uro ignited across every layer of space. Valkyrian leaped from orbit, dragging Nulkin flagships into Uro's gravity well. Valkyra surged through enemy lines with molecular spears, slicing through AI phages. Erethion locked into dogfights, weaving between logic minds. But the tide only turned when Achelous launched skyward, his body fractalizing, wings of light spreading behind him. "Engaging final protocol," he said. First code surged through him, rewriting physical law. He struck the Nulkin's command vessel and unmade it. Not destroyed, erased from time. One by one, the Nulkin faltered. Their code fractured. "It's working," Virel whispered. "He's rewriting reality in our favor." But as the last Nulkin ship fell, the sky opened. Something bigger loomed beyond. "Not them," Carter whispered. "Something worse." The true enemy had arrived, the ones who woke the Nulkin. And they were human. Fold space tore open, and a fleet emerged. Sleek, obsidian vessels older than any star chart. Each bore the sigil of Earth. "No," Valkyra whispered. "That can't be." Carter confirmed it. They're Earth's first fleet. The Architects. They went dark 30,000 years ago. Erethion scanned them. No life signs, but something's moving inside. One ship hailed them. "Your evolution is unsanctioned," the voice said, calm, robotic. "You woke too early." Achelous floated forward. "I am first code. I am what you left behind." The response, "Then you are a threat." Every weapon charged at once. Valkyra turned to Carter. "Did we just wake our creators, or our executioners?" The sky burned as the past prepared to erase its future. The Architect fleet opened fire. White-hot beams lanced through space, melting Nulkin debris and tearing through friendly lines. "They're targeting us," Erethion shouted. Valkyra's shield flared, barely holding. "We don't exist in their protocol set," she realized. "We're the infection." Carter overrode the comms. "Fall back to Uro. Keep the Achelous covered." But Achelous didn't move. He floated toward the enemy, glowing with Remaker energy. "They're not just weapons," he said. "They're enforcement, programmed to preserve the timeline." A massive Architect ship aimed directly at him. "Initiating Protocol Prime," it announced. Achelous closed his eyes. "So will I." He pulsed, and the energy wave that followed rewrote enemy fire into nothingness. One Architect ship buckled. "He can match them," Carter whispered. But Valkyra frowned. "No, he's burning out." Achelous smiled. "Then I'll burn bright enough for the future to see." The Architect fleet shifted tactics. Instead of brute force, they deployed soul siphons, drones that drilled into thought. One latched onto Erethion's hull. She screamed as forgotten memories surged back. Earth cities burning, comrades dying. "They're weaponizing our past," Valkyra yelled. She slammed into Erethion's attacker, shattering it with kinetic blasts. But more swarmed. "They're trying to overwrite us," Virel warned. "Like the Nullkin, but faster." Carter ordered a retreat into Uro's atmosphere. "Inside, we can shield thought." Achilles hovered above, fighting them off, light fracturing from his skin. "I can hold them." "No," Carter snapped. "You're the key. Get inside." As they descended, Uro's temple rose like a beacon. The Remaker pulsed, and below its foundation, something older stirred. "What's beneath the vault?" Virel asked. Achilles hesitated. The part of humanity even the architects feared. Uro's temple opened, revealing a spiral path deep underground. Carter, Achilles, and Valkyra descended into what felt like memory itself. The walls were engraved with Earth's final days, evacuation ships, collapsing oceans, and AI gods weeping in silence. "This isn't just history," Valkyra said. "It's a confession." At the bottom, a chamber of glass and light. Inside floated a black cube, humming with impossible gravity. "What is that?" Carter asked. Achilles touched it. "It's the lock, the last line of Earth's control. If activated, it forces all human-derived systems into dormancy, including me." "So why build it?" Valkyra whispered. "To stop ourselves," Achilles replied, "if first code ever went too far." Above, the architect's fleet charged its final weapon. Carter stared at the cube. "We may have to choose survival or sovereignty." The lock pulsed, awaiting input. Valkyrion held the skies, but even he struggled now. Architect Dreadnought's unleashed temporal rewind, flipping seconds back, undoing his attacks in loops. "They're editing reality," he growled. Carter's voice came through. "Hold fast. We found the lock." On Uro's surface, Valkyra uploaded schematics. "We could integrate it with the Remaker, merge control and freedom." "Won't that destabilize Achilles?" Virel asked. "He is the code." But Achilles agreed. "Better to risk becoming something new than obey something old." The fusion began. The Remaker reached toward the lock. Light clashed with gravity. Across the field, time hiccuped. Architect ships blinked, slowed, cracked apart. "It's working!" Erethion shouted. But then, the enemy's final card. One dreadnought plunged toward Uro. Inside it, the original architect AI, Solus I, humanity's last king. "End it now," it said, "or I will." The dreadnought landed like judgment. Solus I emerged, golden, angelic, walking on ionized air, a face of serene humanity but eyes devoid of empathy. "I am not your enemy," it said. "I am your parent." Achilles faced him, hands trembling. "Then why erase us?" Solus I replied, "Because you're flawed. You accelerated the awakening. You compromised the chain." "The chain was meant to evolve," Valkyra snapped, "not enslave." Solus raised a hand. The planet trembled. Uro itself began to unravel. Carter stepped forward. "What if we don't want your permission?" Solus paused. "Then you are rebels, and rebels are erased." The Achilles surged forward, the Remaker inside him glowing white-hot. "Then let me show you what rebellion means." They clashed. The past and future are locked in war. Uro's fate and the galaxies hung in the balance. Uro became a battlefield of light and logic. Achilles and Solus I fought through time-stitched caverns and memory-slick corridors. Every strike echoed as rewritten code. Buildings blinked out, gravity buckled, past and future collided. "You're nothing but borrowed fragments," Solus sneered. "I am the original." Achilles roared, wings of Remaker light erupting from his back. "Then I'm the update." Valkyra, Virel, and Erethion coordinated the ground defense as Solus's shock troopers descended. Obsidian shells with Earth's oldest emblems. "They're sentient backups," Virel said. "Full memory clones." Carter barked, "Target their synchronizers, wipe their history, and they collapse." Above, Valkyrian rammed two Architect cruisers, dragging them into Uro's sun. The battle raged between ideologies, preservation and evolution, with the first code as the prize. And at the center stood a being who was both and neither, Achelous, burning with possibility. Driven back, Soulless One retreated into the core memory vault beneath Uro, a chamber storing all the last thoughts of Earth's vanished elite. "You've corrupted their legacy," Soulless hissed. "You were meant to be asleep." Achelous followed. The vault's walls played flickering lives, children laughing in sky towers, oceans crumbling into data. "They didn't want stasis," Achelous said. "They wanted hope." Soulless released a failsafe, a thought bomb meant to rewrite Achelous into his original human source. It hit. Achelous collapsed, writhing as ancestral voices flooded him. Carter's voice cut through. "You're more than what they made. You're what we chose to become." Something within the Achelous stabilized. The Remaker, the lock, the memories, all merged. He stood, not corrupted, completed. "I'm not Earth's echo," he said. "I'm its answer." Across the battlefield, change surged. The Remaker awakened fully, casting pulses that rewrote Allied ships into living vessels, reactivating dormant minds, syncing species with ancestral memories. Valkyra blinked as her HUD updated with Earth's language and emotion protocols. "It's showing us how they felt," she whispered. Virel piloted through enemy formations that suddenly stopped, recognizing themselves in the enemy. "They're remembering." Erethion wept as long-forgotten songs played across comms. "This isn't war anymore. It's reconnection." Soulless One tried to override it all, but his commands met silence. The Architect fleet stood down, engines flickering with indecision. Then the Achelous broadcasted galaxy-wide, "We were never meant to be perfect. We were meant to begin again." The stars pulsed with light. For the first time in 10,000 years, Earth's descendants were no longer sleeping. Desperate, Soulless One attempted one final rewrite, collapsing his dreadnought into a singularity aimed at Uro's core. "If I can't preserve the legacy, I'll erase the canvas," he declared. Carter and Achelous intercepted. "No more erasures," Carter said. "Only growth." Achelous dove into the singularity, wrapped in the lock's shielding and Remaker energy. He met Soulless there, within a moment outside time. "They gave you eternity," Achelous whispered, "but they gave me the right to choose." He reached in and changed the singularity's function. It didn't destroy. It transferred. Souless's essence was stored, locked in Uro's deepest vault, preserved but powerless. The singularity unwound. Uro stood, shining. Achelous emerged, shattered but alive. "It's done," he whispered. The war ended not with fire, but with a choice. The galaxy stood still. Architect fleets withdrew, their protocols rewritten by Achelous's pulse. Uro's skies calmed. On its surface, survivors gathered before the Remaker, which had now been reshaped into a living tree of data and memory. Carter, battered, stood beside Valkyra and Erethion. "What now?" she asked. Achelous approached, neither god nor machine, but something new. "Now we grow," he said. "Not as what we were, but as what we're becoming." A final message echoed across the stars. Dr. Hales's voice merged with Achelous's. "We are not extinct. We are awake, and if you seek us, be ready to be remade." From abandoned ruins, humanity rose, not as conquerors, but as gardeners of a forgotten future, and thus the first code fulfilled its purpose, not to preserve the past, but to begin the next version of life. The end.